Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys predicted to land explosive vertical WR to replace Brandon Cooks. The Dallas Cowboys could land one of the top wide receivers in next year's draft. As projected by the Draft Network's Justin Mello in his 2025 NFL mock draft, he predicts the Cowboys to select Texas Longhorns wide receiver Isaiah Bond with the 25th overall pick. Mello writes that Dallas will look to get cheaper at wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb's looming extension and with Brandon Cooks due to become a free agent next offseason. Aging wideout Brandon Cooks is entering a contract year, writes Mello. The Cowboys will want to get cheaper at WR2 following an inevitable and historic extension for CeeDee Lamb. Isaiah Bond is the next explosive vertical receiver coming out of Texas. The 20-year-old Bond recently transferred to Texas after starring with the Alabama Crimson Tide over the past 2 seasons. Bond posted 48 receptions for 668 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns during his sophomore campaign with the Crimson Tide last season. As Keith Sanchez of the Draft Network writes in his scouting report of Bond, the 5'11" receiver is a deep threat who can quickly accelerate and break away from defenders. Bond is an explosive vertical threat who can quickly accelerate, creating separation between himself and defenders, writes Sanchez. Bond has effortless speed to stride past defenders and can use this speed to set up other elements of his game working the short and intermediate portions of the field. Bond could represent an upgrade over Cooks, who is more of a possession receiver at this stage of his career rather than a deep threat. The 31-year-old Cooks averaged 12.2 yards per reception during the 2023 season with a long of just 37 yards. That's a decline from his 13.5 yards per reception career average and the 16.6 yards per reception he once averaged as a member of the New England Patriots back in 2017. By comparison, Bond averaged 13.9 yards per reception during the 2023 season, including a 31-yard game-winning touchdown reception against the Auburn Tigers on a 4th-and-goal conversion to land the Crimson Tide a bid in the SEC championship game. With Lamb seeing an increase in volume, he led the league with 135 receptions in 2023, a major increase from the 107 receptions he posted during the 2022 season. The Cowboys could use a specialty deep receiver such as Bond. A major benefit for the Cowboys in replacing Cooks with Bond is due to salary cap implications. For example, the Green Bay Packers selected Jordan Morgan with the 25th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. They'll pay him a little over $14 million over the duration of his rookie contract with just $3.5 million on an average annual basis. According to Spotrac, Lamb's projected contract value is $34.0 million per season across 4 years for a total of slightly more than $136 million. That total would represent 13% of the team's total salary cap, higher than any player with the exception of Dak Prescott, currently 21.6%. While Cooks remains productive at this stage of his career, 54 receptions for 657 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns, it's hard to envision the Cowboys bringing him back for another season considering their salary cap limitations. With big contracts due for Lamb, Prescott and Micah Parsons, don't be surprised if the Cowboys spend a high draft pick on a player such as Bond next year. Dallas Cowboys lose star player for the foreseeable future. The Dallas Cowboys are going into 2024 trying to get over the playoff hump. For 3 straight seasons, they've finished the regular season with 12 wins, yet they failed to make it to the NFC Championship game. One of the stars who figures to be around for a long time won't be on the field for a while. According to the Cowboy Wire, the Dallas Cowboys have made it official. On Tuesday, the club made 6 changes to their roster, including officially saying goodbye to wideout CeeDee Lamb, who is holding out in an effort to secure more financial security. To this point, the team has dealt with his absence without making anything official. There was no need to create room on their 90-man off-season roster, but 2 weeks into training camp the need has arisen. Dallas has moved Lamb to the reserved/did not report list ahead of their first exhibition game this Sunday against the Los Angeles Rams. Cowboys trade pitch swaps picks for former 1,100-yard running back. Did we really need a reminder that the Cowboys running back room, the committee, as they're labeling it, is decidedly weak? Probably not. But ESPN was there to remind us on Wednesday of just how little they think of the group by pointing out the situation must be dire when team execs are hyping up the Royce Freeman signing. A Cowboys trade may be in order. It's a fair point. Cowboys executive Stephen Jones did express his excitement for the Freeman show in Dallas, and considering he was still a 28-year-old free agent when Dallas finally signed him in mid-April, we can take that as a condemnation of the group as a whole. Especially because Freeman is likely to be number 2 on the depth chart. Dallas running back room consists of veteran journeyman Freeman, a 29-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and some other contenders. As much as running backs have correctly become devalued, those players probably aren't good enough right now to lead a backfield for a Cowboys team with Super Bowl aspirations, Seth Walder of ESPN Analytics wrote. But give Walder the four-letter network some credit. They did offer a solution, a Cowboys trade for 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell. In an article titled, NFL Preseason Trade Matches, Which Teams Could Make a Deal?, Walder writes that the 49ers like the depth in their running back room and could be ready to move the oft-injured Mitchell out of the number 2 spot in favor of Jordan Mason, who has been taking first-team reps with the team. That smells of an opportunity for the Cowboys. Here's the deal Walder proposes. Cowboys receive RB Elijah Mitchell, 2025 6th-round pick. 49ers receive 2025 5th-round pick, 2026 6th-round pick. It would not be much for the Cowboys to cough up, which makes sense given Mitchell's injury history. But it would be a low-risk gamble that Mitchell, if he was, indeed, healthy, could take the reins as the Cowboys' number 1 back. Mitchell was a 6th-round pick of the 49ers in 2021, racking up 937 yards rushing and 163 yards as a receiver in 11 games as a rookie, including 10 starts. His 1,100 yards from scrimmage were second on the team, behind only Deebo Samuel, but he missed time with injuries to his chest, hand, and shoulder, plus a concussion. Mitchell has also had persistent hamstring and knee problems that have made him unreliable, too. He played 5 games in 2022, and 11 last season. Walder, though, calls a Cowboys trade for Mitchell a potential answer for the moribund running back situation. Remember, the Patriots let Elliott walk in free agency with little resistance after he ran for 642 yards last season, just 3.5 yards per carry. Freeman averaged 4.1 yards in a limited role with the Rams, making just 77 carries on the season. Dowdle has just 385 yards on 96 carries in his NFL career. There isn't much upside in this group. Mitchell has the speed and talent to change that, if healthy. Mitchell would have a good argument to be the Cowboys' best running back, Walder wrote. He has averaged 0.4 yards over expectation per carry in his career, per NFL Next Gen stats. While not an overwhelming figure, it is much better than what we can expect from Elliott, who has had negative RYOE per carry in each of the past 3 seasons. Dowdle's RYOE per carry was slightly negative last season, too. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Elijah Mitchell? Leave your opinion in the comments.